5k, and Heroic is anyone who wants, but it's largely just the 4 to 5k teams. So this is 999 versus Rockshandy. I have never cast for either of these teams before, although I would like to in the future. I mean, I say that, but I'm pretty sure I would. I really just enjoy casting, so looking forward to this game. And looking forward to seeing what kinds of interesting things these teams pull out. I wasn't able to find that much information on either of these teams, so I don't really know what their niche picks are, so I'll mostly be speaking from like a meta perspective. And we are starting, and it looks like 999 will have first pick, and I'm just going to call them 9 from this point on. And Nature's Prophet is a pretty annoying hero, and if executed properly can really win the game for your team, but Invoker's still there, Death Prophet, Outworld, those 3 heroes have become very popular in the NA version of the 82L, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them banned out here. And yeah, Death Prophet taken out, and Invoker's still there, but it looks like 9 want to leave it in. Knowing that they have first pick, maybe they want to grab it. Rockshandy could ban it out, and 9 might be able to pick up really any hero they want, and AA also banned out, which I think is pretty interesting. But maybe means Rockshandy wants to pick something like an Oracle or a Dazzle in Phase 1 and are afraid of running up against an AA, but 9 going to actually pick up an Omni Knight as their first pick. Very interesting, and now maybe Rockshandy regretting banning out that Ancient Apparition so soon. But we'll see. Maybe this is an offlane Omni Knight. I've seen this a couple times both in the entry division and the heroic divisions of the North American 82L. So this could be, and most of the times I've seen it, it's actually done very, very well. But it's very dependent on the matchup. So we'll have to see if he's going to be able to pull that off. It'll be pretty interesting to see if he does. And Rockshandy taking a little bit of time. Invoker or Outworld still there if they want it. Also Oracle, Lone Druid, but they're going to go with the Lion instead. So that's actually probably going to be pretty rough for the Omni Knight in lane. Force them to get a point in Repel. I know they really just want to max the Degen Aura and the Purification. Just get lots of damage, harass really, really hard, because Purification does a ton, and I mean a ton of damage. Plus, this will really help against, I mean, it's just so much lockdown. Lion, let's see, Earthspike is like 2.6 or something?
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and then Hex is like 3? 4. Okay, so longer than I anticipated, but it is a lot of lockdown. And Darkseer, this hero, very, very popular in the 82L, actually goes pretty well with the Lion. You can get a vacuum into a 2 or 3 man, maybe 5 man Earthspike if the vacuum is really good, and that could be devastating. And we might actually see this Lion at some point go for an Ags, and they might try that kind of cheese where you Finger of Death with the Ags into a bunch of clumped up enemies and get yourself a Rampage or something nice like that. But the Omni Knight's Repel going to be very useful this game for sure. Invoker completely ignored at this point. I find that rather surprising and going to continue to be ignored and might just not be a priority for either of these teams. It's entirely possible neither team plays the hero. Back at TI5, CDEC didn't want to pick Leshrac. They never wanted to use the hero because they couldn't play it, and it could be the same case here with these amateur teams, that they just don't play the Invoker. Some may consider that like a weakness of the team, being unable to play these really strong, really popular, really meta heroes. And Anti-Mage and Annoying Carry banned out, and Spectre also banned out. And currently 999's draft would have a pretty rough time dealing with Anti-Mage, I think, and actually TA also a pretty good ban. Would be hard for them to deal with. They have mostly single target, and they could still draft something like a Viper. It's still there, but maybe they just don't want Viper, and so they ban out the TA so they don't have to worry about the refraction, just tanking her up so hard they can't ever bring her down. And Spectre has been a dominant force in pubs for the past few patches, and in the 80-12 games that I have cast has also been extremely dominant, so not terribly surprising to see her banned out. Most of these heroes pretty rough for a lot of these teams to deal with, and some of these players just excel in these obscure heroes, so it might be a safe ban. And Rockshandy still waiting out on the next ban. They could take out, if we're thinking like the big meta heroes, there's like Invoker, there's Outworld, Chen, Earth Spirit, Batrider a little bit, but they may just continue to go their own route. The only really popular hero that has been picked up here is actually the Darkseer and Spirit Breaker to some degree, whereas Lion is coming back into the meta, it seems. So Disruptor banned out, and the Glimpse is devastating against Darkseer. because his whole mobility is just running away from you, but if he gets glimpsed back and caught in the pen, then he's just probably going to die in his lane. So I think that was actually a pretty good ban. And Lion, another immobile hero that could suffer pretty badly from getting glimpsed back in lane. So Invoker's still there for Rockshandy. Maybe Outworld if they want to do something along that line. Banish out the Spirit Breaker. Banish the Omni Knight before he can get into ult. I think that would actually be pretty good. Invoker also good against Omni Knight. Tornado, I believe, purges off Guardian Angel, and they're going to go the OD. And I think this is great for them. It synergizes decently with the Darkseer. You banish the Omni Knight in the very beginning of the fight if you can. He can't get his ult off. He can't get repel off. So you have 4 seconds of just uninterrupted DPS on the enemy team. So this is going to be kind of a rough game for the Omni Knight if he gets banished. And Invoker's still there, so I wouldn't be surprised if NEIN just picked it up. That's a pretty good response to an OD. And it would also be pretty useful, like, if they want to draft aggressively, then Invoker's a really good aggressive pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Rockshandy might also, and this is more of a cheese, but it is something they could definitely do if they want to do roaming supports. They could pick Mirana and do the OD Mirana, but they're actually going to grab, NEIN actually going to grab Necrophos. Very interesting, and if it goes mid, it may struggle up against the OD, especially if Lion rotates. So I would actually like to see if NEIN are drafting this healing. I mean, it could be offlane Spirit Breaker, and maybe support Omni and then like a Necro. So Rockshandy definitely could have really used the AA at this point, but they're gonna grab Wraith King. So this hero very tanky, actually pretty decent here, I want to say. There's not a lot of spells to like kite him. His biggest weakness is is him getting kited, and there's degen aura. But Wraithfire Blast on a very, very short cooldown, so would definitely be able to keep up with the enemy team. And NEIN, I guess Necro is their mid. It's kind of hard to tell. All 3 of these heroes are pretty versatile so far. They get played in a lot of different places. We saw safe played Necro for a little while at 6.85. But that has since fallen out of favor. And currently my problem with NEIN is they lack serious damage. So there's still Gyrocopter. I think Gyro would be pretty good. It's good AoE damage, can kite the Wraith King a little bit, is a natural BKB carrier, so it's good against the OD. And it's also, I mean, the BKB is just good against the Lion as well. So I think Gyro is probably the best pick for NEIN right now. But maybe they've got something else in mind, some pocket strat, and they're going to grab the Witch Doctor instead. So actually, that's decent damage. And there aren't a terribly large number of ways for Rockshandy to cancel the Death Ward without having to get very, very close to him before the Darkseer gets like a max rank vacuum. So not a terrible pick, and I think Rockshandy should ban out the Gyrocopter. I think that would be a really good pick for NEIN, unless they haven't actually picked their mid yet. It's kind of hard to tell, because it could be offlane Omni, and then support Spirit Breaker, support Witch Doctor, mid Necro, and then they need to pick a carry. But it's pretty hard to tell, and they're actually Rockshandy gonna ban out the PL, and that's actually a pretty good ban too. They don't have a lot of ways to deal with that hero, but I feel like NEIN's lanes are not bad. Actually, the Spirit Breaker charge, Omni heal plus a cask would be a pretty scary thing to get hit by. So the lanes aren't bad, but I think they can't lose the lanes. Rockshandy's draft outscales them pretty seriously. So NEIN are going to have to pick a heavy-duty late-game carry or another early-game, really strong, really aggressive hero that they can use to maximize the effectiveness of their early-game draft that they're executing pretty well. And actually, Techie's taken out. Pretty interesting. Maybe someone on Rockshandy plays the hero, or NEIN just really don't want to deal with it. Rockshandy looking for their other support, and I would like to see Dazzle or Oracle. Dazzle would help beef them up. Oracle can purge off Omni Knight's stuff, so I would love to see the Oracle, but the hero not terribly favored. So Earthshaker would be good too. Cancel the Witch Doctor, stop the Spirit Breaker charge, and they have the 2 melee heroes already. So Shaker, honestly, I think Shaker, Dazzle would be okay, but I think Shaker and Oracle are my 2 personal, like, these would be great for Rockshandy.
Reserve time.
I think, yeah, the Oracle would be awesome. Purge off the Omni Knight stuff. You have False Promise. Put that on your OD. You can disarm. Magic immunity, some healing. So yeah, I feel like the Oracle would be pretty good. Or Vengeful Spirit is actually still there too. Actually, I would really like Venge if they want to get aggressive. Do a roaming, like, roam with your Lion and your Venge. Although Oracle does have more burst damage in the early game, Venge outscales. Her ult is more... Her ult is... Oracle spells fall off except for False Promise. And yeah, they actually did go for the Dazzle. And immediately, NEIN pick up a Medusa. So definitely trying to remedy their late game... Their fears for the late game. And I actually like that a lot. And Rockshandy grabbing the Dazzle, another hero that I am really glad to see them pick up. So they have a defensive support. They can rotate the Dazzle around. So like defensively, he should always carry a TP on him, I believe. And so yeah, I think if NEIN win their lanes, they can win this game. But if Rockshandy survive the laning phase, and their lanes are by no means weak, then they can definitely just snowball out of control and dominate the enemy team. So anyways, as for introductions on Rockshandy, we have Jax playing the Darkseer, Keith on Outworld, Eric on Dazzle, Gowan on Lion, and Sexy Koala playing the Wraith King. I like that name. And then on the side of NEIN, I have trouble reading purple, Kamina on the Omni Knight, Jazz on the Dusa, Inori playing Witch Doctor, Pixis on the Necro, and Savage Pork Chop playing the Spirit Breaker. And gonna have to be careful. If they start with the Banish and toss out a stun, they could get the kill, but they're just gonna back off and secure the rune. Don't know where the enemy team is just yet. And it looks like it's going to be a support Omni and an off-lane Spirit Breaker. So pretty standard. A very defensive lane. But I think this is smart. You protect the Medusa, make sure there's virtually no way she can die, especially if Witch Doctor gets even 1 point in Voodoo Restoration. So, the Dusa getting the bounty rune on one end, and the Outworld getting it on the other. And this is already, I feel like, going to be a pretty rough lane for Necro. So, OD getting that rune is going to make it even harder, because he's going to get a fast level 2 off of this. So it looks like this looks like a defensive try. I mean, there is kill potential, but not that much. They're going to have really, really good cast bounces. And at the same time, this try has a lot more kill potential. Dazzle actually starting Poison Touch to zone Lion with Hex, so they're just going to zone out Pork Chop pretty hard, or Savage, whichever he prefers to be called. So it's going to be a rough lane for that Spirit Breaker, and he might just look to rotate around the map, try to get some kills, maybe find something on this Darkseer, find something on the Outworld, but the Banish will make it very difficult to find those kills. So he can just banish himself for 4 seconds while he waits for his Dazzle to TP in and save him. So again, I feel like it's very important that Rockshandy survive these lanes. In that NEIN, if they want to win this game, need to get ahead in their lanes. Just because if they're even, I don't think they win. I mean, you have a Dusa, yeah, that's great. But if the Dusa is even with the rate, but otherwise, what other damage do you really have on NEIN besides like the Witch Doctor ult, which will be doing less damage thanks to the Dazzle's Weave, and there are ways for it to be cancelled. And this poor Spirit Breaker has gotten 0 experience. Rockshandy just zoning him brutally. Wraith King maintaining creep equilibrium, but not for long. It looks like Spirit Breaker might finally find a little bit of experience. Otherwise, the lane's going fairly well so far. Mid lane seems very even. Necrophos will be going a Mechanism. I like that a lot. I think you get your 4 heroes aggressive. Though, like your Spirit Break, you're just not really aggressive. Oh yeah, aggressive. You just go for picks, create space for the Medusa, and get her ahead. Oh god, his 31 XP. This poor, sad Spirit Breaker. That looks like a smiley face, but it's not. It's supposed to be a frown. Eric, though, tanking a bit of tower damage. OD with Keith now, with a haste rune. So might try to get aggressive, force a rotation. He's level 4. The supports in both of these lanes, though, are very stationary, which is, I think, actually hurtful for Rockshandy. They have a lot of good potential. And honestly, Wraith King is now 2 levels ahead of the Spirit Breaker, who's at, nope, only a level. Spirit Breaker has almost hit level 2 now. So Spearbreaker being zoned out really hard, and just excellent support play so far from Rockshandy, but I would like to see this line roaming through the jungle and making some stacks. I don't think he's entirely necessary to make sure that they zone this guy out. Ion Shell dishing out some pretty mean damage to this Medusa, and that's the strength of the Darkseer. The hero is just very frustrating to play against, and oh no, the courier might find itself in trouble, but gonna just walk away, and they micro it back, make sure it doesn't get punched to death by the Darkseer. Witch Doctor trying to zone out this Darkseer, just very unsuccessful. He's already level 4, so Darkseer having a great time. Wraith King farming very, very well. Has, wow, I did not realize that. 3 Fairy Fires and 2 Mangoes. Rather interesting. Outworld still has that haste bottled. Might try to go for something, but needs to be a little careful. 3 points in that, so a good bit of burst, and OD could be in trouble if he's not careful. And now a Bounty Rune top and an Arcane Rune bottom. Omni Knight can just spam out those purifications if he so wishes. OD just going to try to zone out, steal some int from this guy. Is going to max the Essence Aura, and that is agreeable. That is definitely the standard now. And I think it even was the standard back when you would max Banish. Though the regular build, nowadays it's like you get Essence Aura, Arcane Orb, and then max the Banish, just because you only want it for the 4 seconds of control. And I think that should be changed to scaling. Just force them to make a choice. So, but that's my opinion. OD level 6 may go for the ult, but I kind of doubt it. I think he'll just get another point in the Arcane Orb. Oh, Savage has found level 3 now. But Wraith King level 4. So Rockshandy's lane's going pretty well. I would say Rockshandy are winning these lanes. And that's important for them, and it's bad for NEIN. Yeah, this poor Spearbreaker. I would recommend he rotate a lot now. Maybe on this Darkseer. And now the double Ion Shell, lots of harass coming out. Puts on the Mana Shield to try to survive, but just look at her mana disappear under this Ion Shell. Just to toggle it off to prevent herself from going And now it looks like Dazzle is rotating, so I like this a lot. I'm really glad to see this, and now Dazzle on the way. But will this Poison Touch be enough? He has healing, and actually did get Sanity's Eclipse, so this Necro could be in serious trouble. He might drop the hammer or just rock. Nope, yep, gonna drop the hammer. First blood going the way of Keith. Opted to get the ult, just get that extra added layer of burst, and definitely worthwhile to get that if you can get a kill with it. So well executed from them, and Rockshandy starting to get on the aggressive now. Happy with how the lanes have gone. They want to start making the plays across the map, securing a lead, building a large advantage, and just preventing this Medusa and NEIN's lineup from ever getting to go where it wants to. NEIN really want to be the aggressors, I feel like, with how they drafted. I mean, you have a Spirit Breaker and a Witch Doctor, and Necro and Omni. Just those 4 together could group up, have tons of sustain, and take picks, like get aggressive, smoke up behind enemy towers, get kills, find some objectives, and then build a lead. While your Medusa all the while is just safely farming away, finding herself some XP, and now this ward did spot out Inari, so Outworld definitely going to know about that. Keith needs to be a little careful. Now a charge going in on Keith, but do they really have what it takes to get him? He's very close to his tower. Charge still going, and now a TP from Dazzle, well timed, and they're gonna have to cancel it. So good responses from the supports on the side of RSG. Rockshandy just playing very well. Banish up on the Spirit Breaker, but no OD ult yet, and they're probably just gonna let him go with that. Wraith King just getting free farm up top now. 1800 gold. I think will Blink be his first item? I would like to see it, so he doesn't have any chance of getting kited. Just get on the Necro and make some aggressive plays happen. So he's very close to that, and if he gets it this soon, that's very impressive and could be really, will have huge implications. Actually just going to buy a Drums, so, which is not a bad choice, especially if you can get it this early. It serves a lot of the same purpose. You can just run around the map, find some kills, get aggressive, and NEIN, Jazz just still farming up decently, but very far behind the Wraith King and the OD, not getting the kind of farm that they need. Are there stacks in the jungle for her to go farm up, though? Unfortunately, no. There is a stack here, actually, so they do have something that she can go farm up with the help of her supports later. Though this Darkseer level 7 and Spirit Breaker still only level 4. So the offlane of Rockshandy going much, much better. And there's already a slight gold lead for them. 2k at 8 minutes. Not bad at all. And if they keep this up, then it's not going to be a very difficult game for them. Their draft scales really, really well. And now OD with the haste rune wants to go top. His ult cooling down in just 2 seconds. And now it looks like things could be getting interesting. And a stun going to be tossed out on Savage. And now OD standing behind the tower. And things are going to go very bad, very fast for them. And 2 heroes dead very quickly. But Wraith King ult may get popped. Will he be able to survive? And graved up by the Dazzle. So good save from Eric. And now just 2 free kills for Rockshandy, and things are starting to look very grim. Medusa picks up her phase boots, but still very far behind. It just doesn't feel... She's not farming nearly as well as they need her to be. I think she needs to have the highest CS, but Darkseer doing a good job applying pressure with just Ion Shell, and that's how the hero works, and it's why we see him so often. Can be very annoying to lane against. He almost always finds farm. And just look at this damage from the Ion Shell. But now, Dusa could be in trouble. Salvo from Jax, but... Or sorry, Jax could be in trouble. Or maybe it is. And Jax just going to TP to safety. So well played from him. And now Dusa going to finally be alone in her lane for what I think is the first time all game. Wraith King's ult still there. Thanks to a good save from Eric. Making sure that he's going to have that reincarnate available. Still no level 6 on the Witch Doctor, but the supports on both sides not terribly high level, although supports on the side of Rockshandy much higher level than those on 9. In this Outworld having a very good time, already picking up a Rod of Atos. This is going to be devastating. There will be no escaping from him now, and it was hard to do that in the first place. It's going to be especially hard for the Medusa, who might just get ran down. She's going to have to dedicate to Stone Gaze defensively. Could find herself banished up anyway, and may just die. Now with the Rod of Atos up, they want to get Savage again. This poor Spirit Breaker. A good cast, though, bouncing between Eric and Sexy Koala. But now, Inari in trouble. OD no ult, but it's not going to need it. He does tons and tons of damage, and now Savage in trouble, just immediately getting popped in a quick double kill for Keith, and this could be a tier 1 tower. I wonder if Jax may be going for the mech build. That's standard, and Jazz trying to farm up the stack, getting herself some farm, and catching up thanks to the stack is going to be able to catch up a little bit in CS, and she needs it for sure right now. And now with this ward, they're going to be able to get really aggressive up here if this tower does not go down. Urn of Shadow is finished, but now Pix is in trouble. Good heal, but no repel, and now a banish on the Omni Knight, and he could be joining Necro in the grave. A valiant effort to try to save his teammate, but could it be for naught? Thankfully, Repel stopping the orb, but Repel cooling off soon, and Rod of Atos is ready, and now Keith just going to town on him, stolen a whopping 40 intellect, and the last hit will actually go to Dazzle in the end. Benevolent OD giving his support a little bit of a boost. And Jax just completely uncontested in this bot lane, finding everything that he could ever dream of, all the levels he wants, and Medusa, I believe, was actually forced back, was too low, has to walk back to base, or walk back to lane, which is very bad. Although she did clear the stack. So she's caught up a little bit gold-wise, and has got ahead of the Wraith King in net worth, like, by 20 gold. But OD is just so extremely far ahead, and this hero plays really well when he gets ahead of you, and especially with an item like Rada Atos, one that lets him that beefs him up, increases his DPS, and gives him a way to chase you down. And the side of 9, they're not a terribly mobile group. I think what they want to do with their draft is just group up like as 5, not worry about having to run around in these fights. And actually, Omni Knight did get a kill on the Darkseer, so I'm guessing that was a heal bomb. And no, actually, Necrophos did find that kill. Well, drop the Reaper Scythe and then the heal to get the kill. So we are taking a short pause, and if I think, let's see, Rockshandy's lead is pretty massive, and that can be attributed a lot to the OD, who is 2.4k gold ahead of anyone else on the enemy team. And this Necrophos has just had such a limited impact. He wants to get the mechanism, but it's the window of maximum opportunity, or like the window of maximum effectiveness for a mechanism, is closing. You see core heroes getting the mech now over supports because if you get the mech really early, it allows you to do some really interesting, really high impact stuff. You take early fight, you win fights you otherwise wouldn't be able to win. But this OD is getting so far ahead, I don't think the mech healing is going to matter at all. Not to mention Wraith King also farming very nicely. Is level 8, still has not had to pop Reincarnate, so they may try to get aggressive. I would still like to see Wraith King go a Blink, but Blade Mail might not be bad because there's a lot of AoE damage on 9. Well, the Death Ward won't reflect, but it will reflect Split Shot, it will reflect Necro's Death Pulse, and if he gets hit by a Purification, it'll reflect that as well, and some charge damage too. So Blade Mail might not be bad, also give him some mana, but I think Blink into like a Maelstrom or like a BKB would be better. We'll see. It's just what he chooses. And now level 2 Sanity is Eclipse. The multiplier that much higher now. Now Dot Pixis. They could be in trouble. Is OD gonna look to find some kills? There's no room bot. I don't think he has any fear here. And now Jax is TP'd back into the lane. Is ready. Gonna be getting... This looks like mech. Yeah, he has the headdress. So he's going mechanism. I really like that item choice. Because if Rockshandy get that mech, then they can just push. And now Finger of Death on Lion. Let's see, 725 damage, or 600 damage? Let's see, Medusa. How do you fare? Not well. Not well at all. So if the Lion, they're definitely grouping up bot. They want to take this tower, smoke on 3 heroes. Jack's leading the way, maybe going to try to bait them out. They find this Medusa, and they do. She will die very quickly. Gets fingered. A little unnecessary, but... You know, they say kill secured. I really feel like they shouldn't have used the finger there. She was basically dead when the finger came out. So this is going to be a free tower, and now...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Omni Knight on the run. Kamina going to die very quickly, all alone. And this Medusa just is not... She's a good comeback hero, but do NEIN have the means to come back in this game? I mean, Rockshandy are applying serious amounts of pressure. Like, serious amounts of pressure. Their supports are greatly out-leveling yours. Witch Doctor's still only level 5. Omni Knight, though, at least does have Guardian Angel. But it's hard for me to say how NEIN get back in the game here. It feels really hard because your Spirit Breaker is going to fall off. Your Witch Doctor needs to somehow needs to be level 6 before he can really contribute. Omni could be in trouble, but the OD and the Wraith King scale very, very well. Dazzle scales really well, and now Keith trying to banish himself in a good self-banish. Gonna try to secure safety here, and now back in the good wall. Drops the Sandy's Eclipse, but still Maledict on him. He could be in trouble still. Graved up, might be saved. So well played so far from Eric, and now Keith able to walk away safely thanks to a good defensive banish and some saves from his teammates. A good grave and some healing. Savage will be the lone survivor for... Oh, actually, no, not the lone survivor. Savage and Witch Doctor, the lone survivors for their teams, and unfortunately, no Death Ward yet. Otherwise, maybe they could have found something off of that, but even then, I kind of doubt it. Rockshandy just showing no mercy, and after this, I think they could do Roche pretty quickly. I would like to see them take this T2 and go do Roshan. They know they can win a fight in the pit. They know there's no Death Ward, as the Witch Doctor's only level 5. So they should be able to just apply the and yeah, now they have mech too. So either, I don't think they should go high ground. They don't have Sanity's Eclipse. They don't have Wall of Replica. They don't have Finger of Death, and Weave is going to be timing down. So they should, I would go either claim another T2 or do Roshan is probably the best choice for them right now. Keith going to probably, yeah, that's going to be a Scythe, maybe a Shiva's if he wants to add a little bit more damage. And the Scythe not entirely necessary yet. They're not by any means lacking lockdown. You could just go the snowbally item in the form of the Chivas. It also would help slow down the Medusa, but might also be going in Octarine Core. And I heard an Atos pop, but Medusa will be safe. Just gonna, looks like Rockshandy is just gonna back off here, or maybe wait for Weave to come up. Looks like, yeah, they're pinging together to gather for the smoke, and are they gonna go for Roshan? Glimmer Cape now on Dazzle. Was their smoke spotted, I wonder?
Dazzle.
That's their own ward. No, it looks like they're just circling to say, okay, they're over here. And now Blink Dagger finished on the Lion, so that's another great way for Rockshandy to be able to start fights. Yeah, Roshan definitely next on Rockshandy's agenda. And Blade Mail picked up on their Wraith King, so gonna be be even tankier and even harder to kill than he already is. And now it looks like NEIN fully aware that this Roshan is happening. They're on their way, but without Death Ward, is there really any hope for them?
Roshan has fallen to the
And now Blink on the Lion, still not delivered, but now a sped up Darkseer. Medusa May gonna have to pop her ult, gets backed back, and now could be in trouble. Stunned before able to pop Stone Gaze, so this is she's going to die very quickly, and fingered down again. So this Medusa having a terrible game so far, but just a huge struggle now. And without the Medusa, let's see, the net, sorry, I didn't mean to scroll up there. 13k, 14k net worth lead for Rockshandy. The XP lead pretty high as well, over 10k, so NEIN do not have great high ground defense, especially not without their Death Ward. So I think this is going to be a T2. OD already impossible to kill. Is he going Shiva? I still don't know if he's going Shivas or Scythe or Octarine. I've seen all three of those items. I think Shivas makes, or Scythe makes the most sense because it gives the most int. Yeah, 35 int, 30 int, 25 int. And his ult scales off of that, and or whatever item gives the most mana would be good too. Increase Arcane Orb DPS a bit. So Rockshandy going for this T2. I really think that they need to forfeit this, and Medusa banished up. Drop the Sanity's Eclipse, and she's probably does not have the mana anymore to drop her Stone Gaze, and this could very well just be GG, and yes, it is. Rockshandy dominating this game in 19 minutes, not even 19 minutes, only one kill ever going the way of NEIN. Witch Doctor not finding his Death Lord until 18 some odd minutes, and it's just complete domination from Rockshandy. Very impressed with their play. They executed their draft. They won all their lanes, zoned the enemy offlaner, prevented anyone on the enemy team, anyone on NEIN from coming online in the slightest. Just a brutal slaughter here, and looking forward to game 2. Maybe NEIN will be able to recover, rally together, and claim a game out of the series and tie up the series 1-1. But if Rockshandy perform as well as they did this last game, then it's not looking good. So hope you guys are going to stay tuned and join me next time for game 2. We'll be starting very shortly, I'm sure. Alright, so that game was very, very good from Rockshandy. They crushed, gave no one on the side of NEIN any breathing room whatsoever.